Hello guys, this is Jerry speaking. Welcome to LJPCBM React episode 386, and today I'm reacting to a Purple Tales podcast episode 22. Now, I haven't reacted to Purple Tales podcast episodes in a while now. It's been months since I've reacted to Purple Tales podcast. So, let's react to this in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Continuing our look now at the best in children's television. This morning, the new kid, or dinosaur on the block.
So the big purple reptile that kids can't resist.
The big purple
dinosaur. Teaches about love and it just kind of like soothes the kids.
And always, there's that signature song.
Okay.
Welcome to Purple Tales Podcast. This is, I'm going to say, the room that Barney built. Because of you, we are able to continually having these wonderful, wonderful episodes. And of course, we want to thank the people here at Real News PR as well, because this is their studio. But they've made it purple for us. And of course, I'm Nancy J. And of course, we've got Carrie Stinson here who loves purple.
I do, and we love being here. We love being in this big purple studio.
So, was purple a favorite color of yours at any time in your life before, Barney?
It was, and it's become a huge joke because I guess we go to high school. I was a big Prince fan. I was also a huge Minnesota, and still to today, a big Minnesota Viking fan. So everyone thinks it was kind of destiny that I became Barney because purple's been my color for my whole life.
I love that.
Yeah.
Wow.
I had no idea.
Yep.
See the things that we learn on Purple Tales podcast, and I know we're going to be learning a lot more today
lot.
as
Wow.
the weeks go by.
And I'm learning a lot. You know, it's thank goodness for our PTP fans because they're helping bring back my memories. Timothy found a picture.
This is one of our fans.
One of our fans. I was an extra in an episode, actually playing the accordion. I think we have it up here.
Oh my
Wow.
God!
Beforehand. So if in the park, this was the piano episode, and in the very beginning, you see me playing the accordion. And by the way, I cannot play the accordion. I'm acting is what you're seeing here.
Wow.
But yeah, before I became the big purple dinosaur in that episode.
Oh, and looking at the picture, I mean, you're just in a park. I see a water fountain, and there's a kid, and of course, there's a child right there with his mom.
Yes.
And so, what were you playing? Do you remember the song?
I have no idea.
Isn't that funny? You don't remember anything outside of the suit.
That's right. But the fans do, and so thank you for that, Timothy. Thank you for that.
Cute.
It brings back great memories. I love that.
Look at that hair of yours, and you got shorts. You look good.
Thank
Still
you.
look good. Still look good.
Thank you.
Gary, okay.
I don't have the shorts anymore, though.
No. But I bet you could still. I mean, I guess you had to wear shorts when you're wearing the suit.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We actually wore winter silks.
Oh, that's right. We've talked about those winter silks.
Because of the sweat and all that good stuff.
Oh my goodness! And that's a great note from a fan. And
yes. Yeah, and I got another great one from Haley Hoops, who wanted to know about an episode that we had a child in, who sign language was involved. She had a hearing impairment, and we were doing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and she wanted to know how we learned that. We had education department on Barney that would help us with issues of that nature, and so our choreographer, and we would learn, and they would bring someone in,
Wow.
whoever the actor would be, whether it was David Joyner or myself, to learn things like this. And so it was wonderful that they really were looking. We talk about we loved all children, and so those different things that we would tackle.
So you learned American Sign Language
Yes.
for that episode.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
wonderful.
Absolutely. So thank you, Haley. That's a great question.
Was it tough to learn, or would you just?
Well, I think we had to obviously simplify it because I had a thumb and a big.
I didn't even think about that.
2 little arms and I don't have 5 fingers. Oh, I have 5 fingers, but Barney doesn't have 5 fingers.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, and then I'll tell you, I did a lot of special events. I did sing-alongs across this country. A lot of times they would have someone come in and do sign language on those. I remember that a lot, and I thought that was just such a beautiful, that everyone could enjoy the show.
You know what I love about the whole ASL, American Sign Language movement, is colleges now are making that you can major in ASL. That can be your language
Yes.
if you have to have an elective for a language, which I think is absolutely wonderful.
It's just beautiful.
And it's
beautiful.
And speaking of education,
Yes.
you know what was fun? I'll tell you what, Carrie. You know, these last couple of shows, we had Anne Marie, who was one of the teachers, and of
Yes.
course we had
Wow.
Fred, who was the director, Fred Holmes, for so many episodes.
Yes.
And they all talk about how wonderful the children were.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that because, yes, it was Barney's show, but it seems like we get so many comments about where's so-and-so, what's happening to
Sure.
this kid or that kid. And it's really neat to see that what they're saying about the kids. We've got a kid on Broadway in Hamilton. Of course, The Lion King, directors, writers, singers, girl in Nashville is just making her impact who's on Barney. It's really, really exciting.
Well, it
Wow.
was Barney and Friends, and
Oh.
everyone loves the Friends, and
Yeah.
and it's been really, really great.
And of course, those
Exactly.
friends were the children,
Yes.
and I think probably to just all of them, this was their really first acting gig.
Most of them.
Okay.
A few of them had
Some experience a little
yeah,
bit.
yeah.
But I found this study, and I thought about this because if you're growing up as a child actor, it might change your brain, because
Right.
there was a study that says actors actually show different brain activity
Yeah.
when they're in character, and that would be you too. So
Sure.
maybe your brain changed when you were in your suit
Well, yeah, I would think it did.
a little bit.
For my day to day to being a purple dinosaur, yeah, there's a little different thing going on there.
Right. Yeah, they say that there's actually different patterns of brain activity
Right.
depending on whether you're in character or
Yeah.
not. So I guess when you were Barney, you had so many other things to think
Sure.
about you couldn't think about Carrie.
Sure. Well, you don't. You know, there's
Nope.
responsibilities we talk about a lot, and you become that character 100%. That's all. I mean, you're obviously thinking about safety and all those other aspects of it, but you really become that character.
So
Exactly.
then, of course, with every study, there's going to be someone who says that's BS.
Oh, sure,
right?
of course.
So there was a professor out of Liverpool, University of Liverpool,
Right.
unimpressed by this research. He says acting is about far more than just improvisation and character or pretending to be someone. It involves embodying the text and the language, which I think you can relate to because you had all of these different things happening to you at the same time.
Sure.
And it was, you were imagining this, but you had an internal language.
Oh, sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you've especially in my case, because you've got someone else doing the voice. You know, most actors use their own voice. I've got someone else speaking for me, and then you know, a big purple dinosaur that doesn't exist. So you're really out there.
Well, obviously, Barney and Friends, the Friends, all have gone on to do some wonderful, wonderful, wonderful things. Whether they're parents, which I know probably freaks you out that these kids now are parents themselves.
You know, they've become. I keep in touch, and Fred mentioned he keeps in touch. I keep in touch too with a lot of the kids, and so I'm just so proud of them all. So
Exactly.
it does not bother me that we've all aged.
Okay.
It's part of life.
Okay,
but
but
what
I'll-
they become is what's important.
But I love having the kids on the show.
Well, you know, it's so exciting, Nancy. Each week, I'm introducing you to all these people that you don't know and all of this. And today we've got someone very special. Well, every week they're very special, but this is one. You know, we've had some of the kids on beforehand, Pia Hamilton, and we had Ricky Carter on. Those were kids from the episodes that I was not involved in. We've got one today that I was involved in. So this is the first kid that we've had that worked with me on Barney and Friends, and this is Hayden Tweedie.
Oh my.
Hayden, to the show. And you're in Los Angeles, right?
I am. Yes, I am. I'm so happy to be here. I just feel so special. This is amazing.
And so you are one of the kids who is continued acting from Barney, correct?
Yes, I have. Yeah. So I moved to LA about 6 years ago, and I'm pursuing acting still. I've worked on. I kind of went into the horror genre a little bit, so I have some. I went from like Barney, like opposite ends of the spectrum, like Barney to like horror. So, and then I'm out here and still pursuing acting.
And hello, Hayden. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so good.
Oh, it's so good
happy
to see
be
you.
here and see you again. I mean, we haven't talked in so long. It's
I know.
Crazy.
I know, but I have kept up with you and seen what you're doing, and I miss you, and I'm so excited for you.
Oh, thank you so much. And I'm following your photography. I just think that's amazing.
Well,
Yep.
thank you. Thank you.
Love Fest. Here
And-
we are.
Yeah, well, the photography, I haven't seen it before, but I had to give it a chance to show it but from my chance. But I will get a chance to do the Pro Tales Podcast live ASAP, but for now, this happens. Continue on.
And here's
It's
the
good.
here's the cool thing about Hayden. Hayden's one of the kids that has a uniqueness in the fact that she actually went on tour also. So she did the TV show, but she also, not many of the kids did both, the TV and the tour, but
Yeah.
Hayden is one that did.
Yeah, it was.
I did not know she did the TV and the tour. Continue on.
It was so much fun. You know, I felt it was so sad that, you know, the end, it was really like the end of an era. It was really sad to leave the show. But then when I was offered to do the tour, I mean, zero hesitation. I was like, absolutely, I'm doing it. It was so much fun. Such different experience from the show, but just still so unique and amazing.
And it's funny how our worlds come together because I remember that. I remember how sad you were leaving, and I remember how sad I was
So
that
sad.
you were leaving.
It was so sad.
Who came to our rescue but our good friend Sloan Coleman, who Sloan was here. She's been here on Purple Tales, and Sloan's the one that took her out on the road and kept her career going with Barney. So it's funny how this small world.
It's crazy, isn't it? And you went on tour as well, and I've always thought like I'd love to exchange some tour stories sometime.
I would too.
And so
Yeah.
you have come to the right place, Hayden.
No, that'll be after. We'll have to do that some other time.
No. Before we get to the tour stories, we got to go back to the beginning, Hayden. So it was sad when you left, but wait a minute, it had to be happy when you became a part of Barney. Tell me, and Carrie, and all of our fans, what were you doing before Barney? I mean, did you always want to be an actress? Did you know about Barney when you auditioned? Start. Go.
I did both. So I was a huge fan of Barney growing up, and I would watch these kids.
Oh, really? Really? I did not know that. I've been I love Barney since the mid-90s. I grew up with it since the Barney in New York City, Babe, and Rudolph. Enough said. Continue on.
It was so weird because I never told anyone this as a kid, but I would sit there and watch the show, and I would be like, I'm going to be on that show. Like, that I will be one of those kids. I want to play with Barney. I want to do this. And then, I didn't even tell my parents or anything. And then my manager, my agent at the time, got me the audition. And I was like, well, what the heck? This is my shot. Like, this is my opportunity. And then I auditioned, but it was crazy because there was like zero hesitation in my mind that I wouldn't be on the show. And it's just, it was such a cool thing. It was just really awesome when I actually did get the part. I was just overjoyed, of course. And just the whole experience was amazing.
Yeah,
so
I
how old
realized
were
that.
you? Let's just get that. Yeah. How old were you?
So I was on 2001 and 2002, I believe, and I think I started when I was 8 or 9. So maybe 8.
Okay.
I started out when I was 8. Yeah.
Well, what I want to talk about is that process was a really big deal. This was the relaunch of Barney and Friends. They had stopped production for a year or two and come back. And so they did a massive casting call for kids. So the kids that made it really went through a lot because there was a lot of children that auditioned to get on that new series. So obviously that passion, that desire to be on that show pushed you through.
Yeah, it did. And it was crazy. It was a huge casting call. It wasn't just like an audition where, it's open up to only actors. This was opened up to kids who didn't even know they wanted to act so like you had said before, some of the kids had experience and some of them didn't have any previous experience in film and television. So it was a massive casting call. And
Wow.
just the whole experience was really, really awesome. I remember going into the audition room and we had to learn the dance. I think Miss Penny was the tail end I caught Miss Penny at the tail end of her time with the show.
Yes.
Because when I was there was a choreographer named Miss Shelley.
Yes.
But I did get to meet
She's been on the show, Shelley Aubrey.
Has she
She's been
really?
been on Purple Tails.
You need to listen to that one. Watch that one. Yes.
I do. I need to catch up. I mean, I've seen Miss Hurlbut's now, and I've seen Mr. Fred, which were both amazing. I watched his real quick today, so that was awesome.
So you were on seasons now. Was that season 7 and 8? I think, according to your.
8.
Okay.
Yeah, and then it's funny because I was googling a bunch of stuff last night just to like jog my memory, and I guess I was on 7, and I was like, I did like a comeback episode where, and I came back for season 11, which I feel like a horrible person, but I did not remember that, and so then
Wow.
I was like, I'm like, oh my god, that's right, and I think I have a picture actually on my phone. Let me see if I can pull it up. Where's my phone?
What does it feel
I
like
want
to
to
see
show
her,
you.
Carrie, right now? What is it kind of like when you see Hayden as a grown-up?
It's wonderful. You know, there's a lot of memories that come back from, she was such a great kid. She was one of those kids that you could depend on, which was so important.
Thank you so
You
much.
know, you knew she was always going to be there. She was going to know her lines. She was going to know her dance steps. And it was important because otherwise there's lots of takes. And
Almost
all
all
of
the time know my lines.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, and she could go with it, right? Because we didn't improvise, right? We decided to do a high five or something. She's ready there for it. She's paying attention.
Wow.
What I think would be so much fun here, we talk, Nancy, each week about Barney Camp. Well, this is someone that went through Barney Camp.
Oh yeah,
What
they
was
did
it
call
like?
it Barney Camp.
Yeah, what was that like
is
for
so
you?
funny. It was so fun. Just the fact that I think they called it Barney Camp. You just felt like you were a part of something so special, and it was so cool meeting all these kids and just like learning all of the dances and even, I guess in my mind, even if I, at the end of the day, if worse came to worse and I didn't make it, it was just such a cool experience to be a part of. And it was so nice to just be able to feel like, oh wow, this is what it feels like to, be involved with this amazing show. So
Did you find something on your phone? Did you find a picture or
I
something?
did. Yes,
okay.
I did. Here, let me pull it up. Okay, so this was my.
Okay, this will
my
be.
comeback.
This is real technically.
Look at that.
Yeah, so technically advanced.
Yeah.
But
Look
that
at your.
was me a little older, and I don't know what I don't even want to talk. My hair was out of control.
I was going to ask you, was that your hair? That was your hair.
Yeah, it was. It was. Yep, it was.
I didn't realize I was playing the accordion either until just a little bit ago. So we have these great fans that show us all this stuff on the internet. It's wonderful.
Barney
for
really
that.
stretches you to your limits. So.
Absolutely.
So did you have a favorite episode? Well, before we talk about the tour, when you were doing the shows, was there a favorite episode, Hayden?
Oh yes. So one that really stands out in my mind, and it's very fitting that Carrie likes the color purple so much. It was the purple episode. Wherever, and I don't remember. I think it was literally called like
Perfectly Purple Day.
or something like that, or a Perfectly Purple Day, or something.
Yeah, because there was a Perfectly Purple song.
Yes, which I don't remember. But
Do you remember it, Carrie?
I just remember that part.
Perfectly perfect. Okay.
Put you on the spot.
Purple. Oh wow.
Perfectly Purple.
But yeah, it was so cool. I think I may have included a picture. It was just like I remember the.
There it is.
Oh! My God. My God. This picture's so cute with these kids. Continue on.
There's the purple party.
Everyone's in purple.
Man.
It was so cool. I remember the episodes that really stood out to me were the ones where the set was a little bit different. So it was always cool as a kid. Like, I mean, the sets were amazing just in general and just had so much detail. But then walking into a new set where it's all decorated and it's all fun and everything's purple, like it was, I mean, those are the episodes that really stood out in my mind the most.
Do you remember who those kids were in that picture with you and with all that purple?
Can I see it one more time?
Yeah, so we're going to take a look at it again. So.
Okay. Yes, okay, so we'll go from Barney to the end. So Selena Gomez. And then this was Zachary, and I'm trying to remember his last name, but he was the sweetest kid. And then this was Claire, and I don't remember her last name either, but she was the best. And then that's me and my silly little boa. And
I love that.
Grayson, and then Grayson Vanover, who I actually still follow on Instagram, and I keep in touch with every once in a while.
And Grayson is just awesome. That kid had so much energy.
These guys are awesome. Continue on.
He was amazing.
He had so much energy, and he came in. He and I actually did a lot of episodes together. I think, like, you would kind of work with the same people. You would tend to kind of be paired with the same people, and he was one of the ones that I would always be paired with. And I mean, he just, he had the energy of like 10 children. It was, it was amazing.
He absolutely did. And that's what they would do. They would pair them up. So when they saw kids that worked well together, they would pair them up because then it would make the episode easier.
And I also worked a lot with, oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, talking about that set, you know, Fred talked about the amazing art department. Boy, they were. Because we would go to rehearsal day
incredible.
And see this. We have no idea, you know, it's perfectly purple, and we've read the script, and we walk in, and the set's like this, like, oh my gosh, this is going to be fun.
So much fun. And then there was another episode that was really fun. It was the bicycle one, like the bike parade or something. And, I mean, that was really a good time, too. I think one of the, I don't think it was Barney, but one of the dinosaurs rode a bike at one point, which was, that's really impressive.
Which I would guess would have been, well, could have been Baby Bop.
Maybe BJ.
Baby Bop had a tricycle. Do you remember that? She had a tricycle.
That's true.
So it could have been that, or it could have been BJ.
Yeah.
Those guys had skills.
They did.
So then you had the bad news that you were off the show, or they weren't doing it anymore before you went on tour. I mean, what happened there?
So I don't know if this is true, but rumor has it that like once you're taller than Baby Bop or BJ or one of the two, you kind of get the boot. So I don't know if that's what happened, but I mean, it did come to an end, unfortunately. But then I was offered the part on the tour, and that, I mean, I just like I said, zero hesitation. I just said yes.
Well, first of all, yeah, you're pretty much right on that. That is pretty much
tall?
what happens. Yeah,
Is that
too
what
tall.
it is?
Yeah, they
Okay.
they don't because Barney's obviously the biggest in the room, and they wanted a size that kids could relate to. Barney's already pushing it, and so they wanted everyone. That's why Baby Bop was shorter and BJ was shorter, and so they wanted the kids and everyone to be at a height that the kids could relate to. The cool thing about her
that's
going
true.
on.
You can't have like a Sasquatch kid.
That's right. Wouldn't work.
No. But the cool thing about what happened with her and what they were doing was never had one of the kids gone from the TV show to the road. And what it allowed is for the audience, now they knew her.
See, did you know that? That you were the first only kid that got to do that?
I did actually, yeah, and that was really, really cool. And it was cool to kind of hear the response out on tour, too, because you could tell the people who were really, I mean, most of them were Barney fans anyway and followed the show, but you could definitely tell that they were like, oh, that's Sarah.
Yeah,
So
they already knew
really,
her,
really
which
cool.
was so cool because beforehand it would just be kids they'd never met before. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh my gosh, I've seen her on TV, there's Sarah. So it was very cool.
So you're what, like 10 years old, 11, and you're leaving your house and you're going on tour. So your mom went with you, or how did that work?
No, so actually, there were 4 kids, and I was the only one that didn't have like a relative or my parents with me. I had like a babysitter that I used to have when I was younger go with me, and she was young and she wanted to travel, so it kind of worked out perfectly. But yeah, I mean, it was 5 months, and it was like away from my parents, so it was kind of crazy. But it was, I mean, I wouldn't trade it for the world. It was so much fun.
It's cool enough.
And it was crazy too, because I mean, both of the experiences on the show and then on tour were so unique and so different, you know, and they were so special in their own way. So it was really, really cool. Both of them were great experiences.
Well, and that would have been with Miss Penny, right? You would have been on the tour. Didn't she teach you the dance? Wasn't it Miss Penny?
I think it was Miss Penny, actually. I'm trying to remember.
I didn't know.
Yeah, this is embarrassing. I knew there was going to be like something that I didn't remember.
No.
Don't worry,
No.
I embarrass myself each week, so don't worry about that.
Yeah.
And we'll do several more times in this episode, so we're good there. This was the Colorful World Tour, is that correct?
The Colorful World Tour, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was really amazing.
So
And
where
you know
did
what's funny is when I first, I was going to say real quick, when I first went on tour, I mean, you weren't in the suit anymore.
Right.
There was a great guy named Corby, and he was amazing. And Sarah.
Okay, that I did not know Corby was on there. Never mind.
They switched out Barney's. But they weren't you. And then, you know, the kids weren't my friends. And
Right.
everyone was kind of different. And it was still so amazing. But when I first got there, I was like, this isn't right. I was like, this is not how it's supposed to be, you know? So it was still a great experience. But I was just so used to the show, and nothing can top the show, you know?
Well, I was still doing the TV show, so that's why I was not on the road. I was telling someone earlier about this. When we did the reboot of Barney and Friends, they wanted to have all these new shows out, so we shot for a year straight.
Mm-hmm.
So we got very close because we worked a lot of shows, a lot of hours. So we were together. We were very close. So we had built these relationships because you're a big family, as we talk about. So I know it had to have been difficult. And of course, I was going through the same thing, Hayden. I had new kids. Mm-hmm. Right? Because all of you grew up and you left,
That's
and so
true.
I had to learn
went
as
through
well.
So many cycles of kids, yeah.
So it is the same thing. You have to learn the different mannerisms and and all of that aspect. So I was losing you too, and it was tough.
So what do you remember about Carrie? I mean, you're a kid. You've got these grown-ups. I mean, that's a different world.
Yes, so I just remember him being so much fun. Like, as a kid, you could not ask for somebody more fun. And, I mean, everyone on set was amazing, but it was just, like, he was fun, so you could have a good time with him, but then, like, he knew when to be serious. And there were some kids who, like, you know, right before they called action, they would be talking or something, and he would never, like, he would always just have so much patience and just, you know, still kind of joke around, but be like, okay, like, you know, we need to... Like, let's focus.
Oh my god. These pictures are cute. Hold on one moment. I got a message from Remix. One moment. And... Oh my god, these... Flea... There's no... I don't see Demi, but these kids are cute. Continue on.
Or whatever, and... I just have the best memories. And then I have the memory, I don't know if I can say this about, like, the logistics of your suit or the, like, mechanics of it.
Uh-huh. Sure you can, honey.
Like,
well, not
okay.
all of it.
Oh, well, so you had the AC in there, right?
See, now well, you can say it, but here's the thing, it's not true. Everyone likes to talk about this AC. What this was fans that were in there. But when you are dealing with
not
that much,
fans, we're talking about fans to cool you off.
we're talking about fans to cool you off.
Fans.
That's right. That were about this big, and all they did was kind of move the air around. But when people would hear them, they go, "Oh, you're fine. You've got AC." There's no AC in there. There's no way that can compete with the heat of what was there. So I don't have a problem that you told it. I just want to make sure we know what it is.
Let's clarify. It was not an AC system.
Yeah, it was just to make me feel good because I was feeling a little air on my face.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah, it just like circulated the hot air around. Mm-hmm. But I think the cool thing was how you would turn them on. You know, like his hands are here and they're in the suit, so he would turn them on with his head, and every once in a while you'd hear this little click click. And we're like, oh, he's turning on his fan. And so then we got to a point where all the kids, like, we would hear it, and then we'd do this, too. Like,
did you know that?
I saw it.
Oh, my goodness. So, I mean, did you ever let it get anything past Carrie at all as Barney?
Not much got past him, no. Every once in a while, we would go behind the suit and, like, jump over his tail and think that we were
wow.
But,
I was watching.
Other than that, not a lot.
I kept my eyes on those kids.
He probably knew.
I think he did have eyes in the back of his suit. Something like that.
Yeah.
Oh my! But that was a cute. We just showed a picture, just a few minutes ago. I guess there we go. Here we go again.
Oh, so cute.
Love that.
Look at how cute everybody is. And well, first of all, you have not changed, Hayden, and I don't think Carrie's changed.
Thanks.
And you can see I've got a purple hat on.
Yeah.
I told you it was purple all the time.
That's
right. And then there's
Are you an LSU fan too?
My sister went there. So I am an LSU for her.
Yeah, you do have a lot of purple.
I do, and I want to talk. The other gentleman in there was Dean Went, my really good friend.
I loved Dean.
Who did the voice, and he's an amazing guy. He had the same passion and love for Barney and the kids, and yeah, Dean was fun.
What did you learn out?
He was amazing too.
What did you learn out on the road, Hayden? I mean, you were with an audience, you're with all these people, you're acting. I mean, but what was really your world like then?
I think it was challenging at times because, you know, on set, you could kind of like, we'd have a couple weeks in between each show. Whereas, I mean, you were just going on tour, and you were with these people all the time. So if you got kind of frustrated or whatever, you would really just have to like rely on the people around you to, you know, be your support system. And it was just, I mean, it was a great learning experience, and it was just an amazing experience.
Well, and you know, the interesting thing, because I got to do it all those years as well, you don't stop. So if you fall down, you get up and you keep going. The show doesn't stop. They don't stop. Where if we fall on the TV show, oh my God, there's 20 people that come to you and they go get you food and you know, all that stuff. On the tour, you just get up and you keep going. If you miss a line, you keep going. If you forget something, you bump into something, you keep going.
You have, the show must go on.
And it does.
And, and it's tricky for the kids too, because we don't have a voice, like a live voice on tour, so everything's pre-recorded. So it's kind of hard. Sometimes you have to fit your line into this little dead space, and if you don't jump on it real quick, then you'll miss your line sometimes. So, but yeah, you just have to keep going.
I know Carrie has talked so much about the joy, the way it makes you feel in front of a live audience. Do you remember that feeling? And I'm surprised you didn't just stay on stage all the time after Barney.
I know. So, I mean, it's a rush. It really is. It's just like the adrenaline is like no other. And it's just, you just, every once in a while, I mean, the lights are really bright, but every once in a while you'll get just a glimpse of like a child's face. And it just like, I might start crying. But yeah, I mean, it was really amazing. It was awesome.
So what was your favorite city?
I think, nothing could top Radio City Music Hall in New York City. Yeah. It was just incredible. And that was our first, or I think Memphis was our first stop, and then that was like our second stop, and that was really just such an awesome experience because my whole family got to come out and stay with me, and we did the whole ice skating in Rockefeller Center, and my grandma got to come out. They put us up in the Riga Royale, so I mean, it was incredible. It was amazing.
Yeah, I got that experience too, and it really isn't. It's the hardest venue to perform at. That stage is really difficult to perform at in a big purple suit, but it's Radio City.
Yeah.
Because it's such a hard stage. It is solid.
Carrie,
and then I remember the like in the wings and backstage just being really tight too, if I remember that correctly. So I can only imagine in like a big bulky suit how that would be.
Of course, Carrie could walk the streets of New York, or get out of, he's out of the suit and he can be himself. Well, whatever he did, we won't talk about that. But you were Hayden. So what was it like when you went out? I mean, did people recognize you from the show and from the tour?
Not so much on the street, really. I mean, every once in a while, somebody would come up to me. But it was more so once we were finished with the live performance, and we'd like come out the back door, and there would be some people like waiting, and that was really cool because that was like a meet and greet, and that was really cool.
So it's been fun because we've had a couple of these people on here. I'm curious your experience. So what was it like? Do you remember working with Fred Holmes? With Fred?
Yes.
Do you remember?
Oh, Mr. Fred was the best. Yeah, he just had, he brought just like I don't want to say a comic relief, but he just brought.
Sorry about that, everyone. You heard some stupid rap music background. Just ignore that. Continue on.
Brought such a good energy on set, and I just remember him being such a jokester, And I remember just on the podcast that I just listened to, where they said that he said Luigi was like behind the scene or something, and then he would come out and break our leg if we messed up. That was the kind of humor that he had, and it was just so good to just keep that morale and our spirits up, and I just think it was great energy for the kids,
So what did you do once the tour was over? I mean, because you were still in high school, junior high at that point?
Yeah, I think I was going into junior high. You know what is crazy? Actually, after I got off tour, I was kind of, I mean, it was 5 months away from my family and, you know, my friends. And I came back home and I actually told my parents, I was like, you know, I think I just want to go back to school. I just want to kind of play sports and kind of be normal. And without hesitation, of course, they were just like, absolutely, of course, whatever you want. So for a while, I took a break, and I think that might have been why I didn't really stay with theater. And then I kind of, after a while, you know, when you're a performer, you just have an itch to perform, and so I got back into it, but I kind of went more of the film and television route.
So what did you take from Barney that you use as an actor today?
I think just, just being a series regular on a show, like, the experience is unparalleled, you know, and it's just, it gives you so much discipline. You have to learn your lines each week, and you have to, you know, show up on time, and even if you have to be ready to go and put on a smile and put your best foot forward. It's so much. It was just amazing.
You know, I get asked this a lot, and so I want to ask you, because you went through it also. So what was it like working with Selena and Demi?
Selena and Demi they were two of my really good friends, and
look at this picture, the three of you.
I love this picture.
Wow.
So actually, it's funny because we all have kind of lost touch a little bit, a lot of it actually, but Demi reached out to me the other day, and she was on Instagram, and she was like, Hayden, I was just thinking about you. I just, you know, wanted to see what you were up to, and so I had this picture on hand, and I was like, do you remember? And she was like, oh my God, I would be the one, like, going like this, you know? She was a riot. She was just the funniest person. And then Selena was just always so sweet and just had such a fun spirit on set. And just, like, it's funny because she and I actually never really, I think we only did one episode together because for whatever reason, we were never really paired up. So we would have to catch each other when she was wrapping one episode or I was wrapping an episode, and then we'd catch each other like in the classroom. But it's crazy because the three of us got really, really close. So
was that the perfectly purple
people
that you were with Selena?
I think yes, it was. Yeah, it was.
Because that picture, sure.
Yeah.
Oh my God! And were those cucumbers on your eyes? Those were the big.
Yeah.
Those are the biggest things.
Those were really. I think I just had a really small little alien head. But and then
I do not remember that.
And then they have, if you see, they have like corn on their teeth, which
corn.
I think is hysterical.
Yes, you can see that. That's so cute.
Playing with our food was not was a thing at Barney.
Well, it's what I loved is they let you be kids. They let you be kids. Obviously, we had to have discipline at times, but they let you be kids, and everyone loved the kids. You know, everyone, we understood they were kids.
Mm-hmm. So now you go out
I think everyone was so. Oh
no, go. It's okay.
Everyone was just so good about supporting us as kids, and I think that it literally never felt like work, and I think that's to the adults on set is because they would, just like you're saying, they would let us be kids, and we just had the best time. I love this picture, and Miss Hurlbutt, like that classroom I have some of the best memories in that classroom. It was amazing.
That she made it sound like that is where you want to go to school, was in her classroom.
It was the coolest school you could have ever been to. It was so awesome.
What was it like?
She had it all decked out too. It was like colorful, and there were all types of props. Every once in a while she'd be like, "Okay, let's take a break. We're doing a photo shoot." And so we'd all get out our little props and our mustaches or whatever they were, and like umbrellas and things. And it was awesome.
What was it like going from hers back to regular school?
My teachers were great because they really supported me. They would get my work, gather my work ahead of time for me to do while I was on set and everything. So I really can't. I love my teachers, but it was a hard transition to say the least.
The other kids,
it was just
maybe?
going back to regular school.
Were the other kids? How did they treat you?
They thought it was really cool. They were like, "Oh yeah, she was like she was on Barney," and everyone was always really supportive about it and thought it was really cool.
So
It definitely followed me through high school, though. It was like, oh, that's
the
then
Barney.
I think I got, yeah, and I think in the yearbook I won like most likely to become famous, and everyone's like, Barney. I'm like, okay.
She already is.
But so that, well, so in that same vein, when you go on auditions now, and you have that probably, maybe you have it on your reel. I don't know if you have a little Barney scene, but
I don't. But I should. Why not? I should.
Why not? Absolutely. I'm just wondering, what do they say about when they find out? Yeah, she was a Barney actress.
Some people, like some casting directors, especially ones who have like worked with Selena and Demi before, they'll ask and they'll be like, "Oh, is this? Did you work with Selena or Demi?" Or there are some casting directors who like have moved from Dallas to LA. And they'll be like, oh, I knew so-and-so on the show or whatever. So it is kind of like it's a cool thing to be a part of, because people do know it.
I actually ran into a guy the other day that asked about you. I think his daughter
really?
went to school. Yeah, Buddy Whittingham. He's a guitar player, but I think his daughter knew you from school, and your name came up just the other day.
Oh, okay. Oh, no.
They hear about Barney, and they're like, would you know? It was very funny. Because they were naming people off. I'm like, yeah, I actually just talked to that person and this person and that person.
And you do have
That is so cool.
You have a very memorable name. I mean, Hayden
Oh,
Tweedie.
yeah.
That not everybody. You're not going to forget that. No, absolutely. I
Yeah.
think it's great. So, do you some of the lessons you learned, are those things that, because you were also growing up on the set, did you learn some life lessons?
Oh, definitely. I think just responsibility was huge. Like I said, just, learning your lines, and there would be nights where I would have to get to bed early, but I would stay up a little later, like making sure that I had all the lines down, because there were times when I didn't have my lines down, and that's embarrassing. And then I would have like nightmares as a kid, like showing up on set not knowing my lines at all, and everyone's like yelling at me, and so I just wanted to make sure that never happened. So I would say, yeah, a big one was like responsibility, and
Still.
it was a job, but so you did have to be responsible, but like I said, it never felt like a job.
No. It didn't feel like a job. No.
Yeah.
Too much fun.
It was
Too much
great.
fun.
I
Yeah.
know. And then I have another memory of like I think a lot of it would be Miss Shelley, where she would say, okay, you would really have to watch when Carrie turns, because that tail will like take you out. And we're tiny little kids, so it really could take you out,
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, there's a lot of power there.
Do you remember any of the songs? That you had to. Do you remember any of the songs and that kind of play in your head?
I do. One of my favorites was the airplane song. I don't know if you remember that one,
Oh,
Carrie.
of course. I did it 1,000.
We are flying in an airplane, looking out the window, watching the clouds go by. That one. Yes.
So that was the hand. That was the what you
I was
motion. It was
watching the
with the
clouds
hand.
go by, absolutely.
Do you still
Absolutely.
sing? Are you still singing at all?
I do a little bit. I want to get back into it a little more, but my main focus has been like acting and film and television. So.
Well, I have to ask you, since you've been doing, you said you did some horror movies or horror TV. Do you have a good scream?
I have a good, I haven't actually screamed, which is kind of ironic, but I've had my throat slit one time, so I have a good, dying face, I guess.
That's
Ooh.
great.
She did not learn that from Barney and Friends.
No, I didn't. No, I learned love and happiness, and then I learned how to get my throat slit.
Oh my!
When she went to LA, when she left
That's
Dallas,
right. That has nothing to do.
nothing like that happened.
Unless it was Luigi. Luigi just snuck in there.
Oh man, Luigi from Mario or what? I don't know. Continue on.
Sent Luigi to LA.
And you did a Law and Order, episode too, right?
Oh really? A Law and Order episode? She was in Law and Order? Man! Continue on.
Had to be fun.
That was so much fun. Yeah, they filmed that in New York, so I got to film that in New York, and yeah, that was a great experience working with Mariska Hargitay, and and that show's been running for years, so it's always cool to be a part of a show that just has like a cult following like Barney, and just has been running for so long.
It's like I can hear, we always play that Barney song, that dun, dun, dun. I can hear the Law and Order
Yes.
opening too. Isn't that
Yeah.
funny?
Yeah,
Boy,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
amazing what music can do to our memories.
It's incredible, yeah, and like the beginning of this podcast, yeah, like you're saying, I mean that was so nostalgic. It was like, oh my gosh, I love it. And then I also remember that there was so many like you would walk on set and this, I don't know if you remember this, Carrie, but like the smell of set was so distinct to me. And so there'll be times where I don't know what it is, if it's like the wood they use to like build a set, or I don't know, but I'll get like a whiff of it at random places and I'll be like, oh my god, Barney. I'm like, oh my gosh. So it's kind of.
I was dealing with a smell of sweat, and it was a completely different smell that you're lucky you didn't have to.
Yeah, I'm
deal
thinking
with.
you had a different,
It was a completely different thing going on.
in
Yeah.
that suit
Yes.
with what was not really a fan, right?
Well,
Okay,
yeah.
so you can imagine.
Yeah, so if it wasn't really a fan, there was really a lot of sweat.
Yeah, I remember there were times where we would want to, like, he would be out of the suit and like his, I guess it
The
was an
silks.
underarm at the time.
Yeah,
Underarm
those-
at the time.
yeah,
but
but
yeah, the silks.
They'll appreciate that though. But yeah, the winter silks.
Yeah, and we, the kids would like run up and like want to give him a hug, and he'd be like, "Are you sure you want to do this? Like, are you like, okay, come here, but I'm sweaty,
What
But
did
yeah,
you
he
think
does
of Carrie?
that.
What did you think about him?
So this is kind of embarrassing to admit, but I had a huge crush. It's so funny too because like the main question.
Don't look at me, look at her, Carrie.
But it's so funny because the main question I always get is when I'm like, everyone's like, "Oh, you're on Barney. What was the guy in the suit like?" And my first response is like, "What suit?" I'm like, "Come on, he's real." Like, But
Very
then
good.
when I come around, yeah. But then when I come around, I'm like, actually, I had the biggest crush on him. So yeah.
And I understand that
I know.
you
And when
weren't
I
the
told
only
Nancy
one.
that,
I know. Yep.
no, I wasn't there. I mean, there are a lot of us girls. I won't call anyone out, but
No.
yeah, I think we all had a crush. It was so funny because when I told Nancy this yesterday, she was like, "I like making Carrie blush." So
Yes, she
Oh,
does.
now see, darn it! Now you were. Oh my God! Now you've sold me out too.
You
Oh
didn't
my
have
gosh.
to tell me that, Hayden. I already knew. I'm fully aware of what was going on.
But I can understand that.
I still pay attention.
But I can understand that. I mean, here you had someone who, who was a grown up, but he was still a young man, and hey, I think it's
And is still a young man.
oh, that's right. And he's still, and we all still have a crush on Carrie, right?
So
okay.
sweet. Thank you,
okay.
ladies.
There you go.
Thank you.
There
I mean,
you
I
go.
just remember being like, "He's so handsome," and you're just such a role model, like just somebody to really look up to,
Well,
It's
thank you,
amazing.
Hayden. Thank you. Well, these kids meant the absolute world to me.
Yeah.
I mean, we were doing something together.
Yeah.
We were doing something together, and they understand the importance too. They understood how much kids love this. Were you ever part of any of the Make-A-Wishes? Did you ever get to
I don't
see
think I
any
was.
of that?
I didn't get to experience that. No.
I think a lot of times they took the kids off, and it was usually just the dinosaurs for that thing, and Barney a lot of times. But I think they understood, and that's what's so great that she got to experience the tour, because you really get to see it. You get to see how much the kids love Barney and love the
What an
kids and the other
impact.
dinos and everything. Absolutely. I mean, have you ever seen anything? Have you ever felt anything like performing "I Love You" in front of a live audience and seeing the reaction of those kids?
Not at all. And just hearing, the echo back from them singing, it was just, it was incredible. It's magical, it's amazing.
It is
There was
magical.
one, it is.
And watching them usually kiss their parents or hug their parents, it's just amazing.
And even the parents singing, the parents
Yes,
singing
yes.
along, they're moved just as much as the kids, so that was amazing, yeah.
Absolutely.
There's also a song that sticks out of my mind. I don't know if I'm sure you performed this on the show.
There's not one that I haven't.
Oh yeah, probably, huh? This was like Just Imagine.
Yes.
Do you
What
remember?
song is that?
Yes.
What-
Yeah, just
So
imagine.
it's just imagine, just imagine, just imagine all the things that we could be. So it's just such a pretty melody, but that one on tour performing that was right up there with I Love You. Like there were, lights, and I think at that point we were like under the sea, and so it was just like all these ships and these beautiful undersea creatures, and I mean that one was really awesome. That one was magical.
Just cool
too.
enough.
And I do also want to say, I know Corby and Sarah that you were out on the road with. Sarah,
I didn't know
love
that.
I love Sarah. So you
Sarah's
were in
the best.
you were in really good hands out on the road with
Oh,
those
they
two.
were they were incredible. Once I got over the fact that it like wasn't you in the suit, I was like, okay,
Oh.
they're great.
They are. They are.
They were super awesome.
If there were to be a Barney reboot of some kind, would you want to be involved?
Absolutely. I would be on a plane like tomorrow. I would be, as long as they don't like curl my hair like they did for the vaccine, that'd be great.
It was the times, a sign of the times, I do believe.
I think
probably.
it was. Maybe it was. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the same reaction everyone had. I mean,
I
it
know.
had that much effect
I know.
on our lives.
But you talked about imagination, so that's it. It's this whole world that you all created that was strictly from one's imagination.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, we brought a purple dinosaur to life, which was very cool.
Which I guess has something to do with what you like to call, and we want to hear Hayden's take on this,
Yeah.
the Barney magic.
On the Barney magic. What was Barney magic to you?
Oh, Barney magic. I mean, it is a thing for sure. I mean, it was family for me. Like, they're just everyone involved in the project. I don't know how it just really brought so many amazing people together, so many genuine people, and I think that's where a lot of the magic started. Was around at the project, and then I mean, just like being on tour, like performing those and just seeing kids' faces light up, and even just the reaction of when people find out that you were a part of the show. They're like, no way, like that's so cool, I love that show, or my kids watch that show, or I think that's all part of it for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, and I mean, I haven't seen her in forever.
I
I'm
mean,
just
I
like,
know. I know. Well, there needs to be. We need to at least put together some kind of reunion. There are so many Barney
I would
people
love
out
a reunion.
in L.A. We've got them in New York. Here, tons still in the
There's
North Texas
tons in
area.
Texas.
So we're going to have to do
Yes.
that.
I
So
think that would be amazing. It could start at the podcast too, because I really love. I mean, I love that you guys are doing this. I can't think of a cooler podcast, and I think that you guys are really gonna, bring a revival to the show, because there's so many awesome people involved and so many memories that just should not be forgotten.
Well, I feel
Exactly.
so because these are all my friends, so I'm getting to see my friends each week.
that's
It's
why
just-
he's doing it.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with Barney. He just wants to see
I
his
just
friends.
want to see all of you again. I love you all so much, and it's just been unbelievable. I mean, when I sent Hayden a message, it didn't take a minute for her to get back and say, yes, I want to be on the show immediately, and I was just so excited.
I was already jealous when Miss Hurlbutt was like, I'm gonna be on the podcast. I'm like, wait a second, and then my invitation came after that, so that was amazing.
Well, we are going
Yeah,
to
very pro. Yeah, that was the thing that I have autism awareness for birthday wishes. Continue on.
continue celebrating the spirit of Barney with Purple Tails and
Yes.
all of these wonderful. Thank goodness you had. I mean, I guess do you have a Rolodex, Carrie? Do they even have Rolodexes anymore? You.
I have a big file there
Okay.
of people. Yes.
So
Yeah,
we've got
absolutely. But next time you're in town, Hayden, we have to get together.
I would love.
We have to go to
I would
lunch.
love it. I
And
would
then we
love
need
it.
to bring you by the studio. You need to come in. We need to see you in person.
Yes. So is
I
there?
would love to do in person if you'll have me back. Yeah.
Of
I
course.
think we can. I think we should. As a matter of fact,
Absolutely.
in fact, there's only one thing you have to do in order to be brought back, and that's to leave us with something really special, like another song
Like
or
a
whatever you want.
song?
Yeah.
And even if it isn't
Okay.
special, you're still coming back, so it's okay. There's no pressure whatsoever here.
Yeah, still.
Yes. Okay. Wait. I want like a sing along. Can this be a sing along?
Sure.
We
Okay.
haven't had Nancy sing yet.
Well, okay.
Oh,
Was
Nancy.
it- Okay, I'll try for you, Hayden. I'll do this, and Carrie, go ahead.
Yes.
Let's try it. Let's do it.
Okay.
You got to lead, Hayden.
I love you.
You
love me.
We're a happy family.
She forgot
With
the
a
song.
great
Big
big hug
hug
and a kiss from me to you. Won't you say you love me too?
Oh, was there a
She went one way, I went the other.
We're harmonizing.
We got to the same place.
This is the best. I love
That
it.
actually, that sounded so good. It was like you guys planned it that way or something.
Well, we didn't. We didn't. That's the first time you got me to sing. So there you go.
Woo!
Hayden, and now we've got another song to just take us out. So thank you so much. You guys Carrie,
so
you've got
much.
the
This
best
is so
friends.
amazing.
You've got great friends, great people, it's a great Purple podcast.
So good to see you, Hayden.
I just feel so special to be on here, and I'm so happy that you guys are doing this and just bringing all the memories back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And you haven't changed a bit, except for the hair.
Oh, thanks.
So that was Purple Tales Podcast, episode 22. What do I think about this episode? It was amazing. So far, this episode went to be a success. Anyways, that was episode for LJ Reacts, episode, LJ Reacts, episode 386. Hope you enjoy it. Stay tuned for the next one. It's going to be Purple Tales Podcast, episode 23. But until next time, this is Jeff. Goodbye. Peace out, baby. We can't wait to react to you guys very soon. But it's been Jeff saying out. See ya.
Given unto me this life I'll never take for granted, and given all the time I failed to really understand it, I never sought to meet the maker of reality, the one who gave the life that which is always happening, but I tried all the time.